and welcome back to our channel Trailhead Ranger NJ. And we are doing this series of TrailMix Build Your Salesforce Developer Career. And in our last video, we have completed this module, that is Lightning Web Components Basic. I'll be pasting the link of that video in the description, and also there is a playlist of this, that is Build Your Salesforce Developer Career, which is having all these modules which we have covered as part of this trail mix. And in today's video we will be doing this project, that is build a beer tracking app with Lightning Web Components. So I have opened it, and we are starting with our first unit, that is creating a hello world Lightning Web component. So let's move on to challenge directly to see that what we need to do. So we need to cover everything which is part of this trail head unit. And I have already authorized my org. If you have not, please follow these steps and do that. And then they're setting up the app. Okay, we are not doing it unless we are needing it, so let's do this one first. We need to create a Lightning Web component, that is hello web component. I'll copy the name, and also uh, yeah, you can follow these command, but I'm doing it from here. I'll press the command shift key in the VS Code, then I'll press create Lightning Web component. I'll give the name and then okay. I'll close everything else. These are part of all previous module. Yes, so I'll go back to the unit, and now I'll copy the HTML code to HTML file. Okay, now go back, and then this is a meta file which we have explained earlier, that okay, so I'll just copy the necessary part. Yeah, indentation is very important. It's not, it will create an error, but for reading purposes it's very good. Then what we are doing, we are editing a page, and then okay, so we are creating a page. So I'll go back and I'll deploy this. In the meantime it's getting deployed. Let's go to the challenge and launch our Trailhead playground. Then I'll go back here. What they are asking us to do is, okay, so this app we need to create. Okay, so we'll follow these steps. I'll copy this command and I'll search for. I have followed all these steps in the background on terminal. You can use you can do these steps on CMD if you are using Windows, and terminal if you are using Mac operating system. So after following all these steps, you will be having these app as a Spark user in your Azure Spark user is a permission set which is assigned to your user, and you will be having this app in your org. And after doing this last command, your org will be open. So after doing this, I'll go to this, and then I'll be searching for Ursus Spark. That's the app we have installed using terminal. So after opening this app, I'll be clicking on edit page, and then I need to enter this our hello web component, drag and drop on the right hand side, then save it and activate it. Okay, and make it as app default to Ursa Spark. Let it open first. After doing this, this is my component, and I will drag this and drop to the right hand side column of this page. Okay, so yeah, so it's opened, and I'll drop this here, then save it. I will search for this app again. Yeah, so you can see the Our hello world component is here now, but I will need to assign it to app, that is Ursus Park. I will click on next and then save it. And do we need to assign it to something else as well? No. So this we have done. After this we will be binding the data. So for this we will modify our JS, and this I have done, and I will deploy it. After deploying, we'll check if it is coming or not, and we need to edit this as well. We will in the lightning input, after which okay, so here we need to add it, and also we need to add modify this as well. Again I need to add this into our JS. This method is calling from there. I will make you understand this code as well. Let me just put the whole code there first, then we will add this as well to our JS. Okay, and this we need to add. I will add in it here. That's all. We need to deploy it. So first we will deploy it, check its result on our UI, and then I will make you understand this code. So let's refresh this page. Mhm. Why nothing has changed? See, the component here is updated now, and first we are seeing hello trailblazer, and then today's date, and then name trailblazer. So what is happening according to the component? If you see its HTML, first we are having hello greeting. Greeting is a variable which is having name as trailblazer. Why? Because we have assigned it here as trailblazer. If I will give it as trailblazer ranger nj, so it will show that. Let me deploy it and I'll show you. Meanwhile, let's see the next thing. And then in p tag we do have today is current date. Current date is also a variable which is assigned value here as date instance. We are having a new date instance, and then we are calling its method to date string. So that's why it's assigning its value in converting to string, and then assigning it to current date variable, and then having it displayed here. Next we have lightning input tag. Lightning input is lightning component, means in lightning web component we do have lightning tags, so it's one of that. And we have given its label as name, so it will show its label as name. Then value will be greeting. Greeting again, its variable is this. So now in this text box we will be seeing trailblazer ranger nj, and on change, that is handle greeting change, it's a event, it's called handler, and this will be called. And what will happen, whatever value we will be typing in there, it will assign to this variable greeting, and we will have it visible here hello, and also in this lightning input. So let's go back to there and I'll show you. So if I will refresh it, it should show hello trailblazer ranger nj, and also in the lightning input element. So you can see, but if I will change anything here, it will simultaneously display it in the input box, that is here, and also here, and you can see label is name over here. You can see as soon as I'm typing, it's changing. It's here and also here. So I hope you understand this. Let's move on to the, let's check this challenge first and then we will move on to the next unit. In the title attribute, okay, so we have missed something to display it on the UI. uh, Capitalized, okay, so this we have to change. Let me change it. So we have lightning card the title as this. I will show you, it will visible where it's visible. I'll deploy it and let's go back and you can see here it's visible as lighting web component, but now it will be visible as that variable, that is capitalized greeting. And what is capitalized greeting? It's here, that is hello, and again greeting in but uppercase. So we will be seeing that Trailhead Ranger NJ in upper letters, sorry, uppercase, in the title of lightning card. So you can see here, and if I will change it over here, same thing will happen again and again. So I hope you get the understanding of it, and let's check our challenge again. So it's completed. Let's move on to the next unit, that is work with a single record, and again we need to do all the steps. Yes, so let's start from the top, and we need to create a lightning web component of beer location. So I'll again do this, give the name, and then yes, lightning web record, sorry, web component is created. Then we will change the meta file from here. It's exposed to true, and where it will be exposed, it will expose to the record pages, and specifically to beer object. So let's deploy it and move back, and then we need to make changes to the HTML first. I'll copy paste it, then move back, and then I'll copy paste the JS as well. I'll make you understand what's all written in the code. Yeah, you can read this as well, otherwise I'll make you understand. Then we need to navigate to BS tab and open any record, then make uh, this component available to that page, and also we need to assign it to this app. Okay, so what we will do, we'll go here, then go to the BS tab, open any record, then click here, click on edit page. Is it mentioned that where we should drop it on the right hand column? Okay, so our component name is beer location. Okay, let me deploy it again. Custom components are not loaded yet. Let me refresh it again. So here is our component. I'll drag and drop it here, and let's save it. Okay, and now I will activate it for app access spark. App default, assign as app default, then scroll down, select access spark, next and save. Okay, then what we need to do, we need to create another component, that is beer supervisor. We'll go back to VS Code and select create lightning web component, then beer supervisor, give its name. Then we'll again copy the meta tags from the unit, paste it here, and it is again making it visible to the record pages of beer. Then we'll copy the HTML code, we'll go back, then copy paste HTML code, and we'll scroll down, and then there is JS. We'll copy paste that as well. Now we need to edit the beer supervisor component to the record page as well. Okay, so I'll deploy it first. Without deploying it, or even if it's exposed is not true, it won't be visible to the record pages. So we need to refresh it to have the component visible here. So now let's search for our component beer supervisor. Let the page load, and then we can drag and drop it to the right side of this page, just below the beer location, and it's there. Now save. Let's check our challenge, and we'll go back to the page. Okay, it's not saved yet. First we will check on UI that how the components are working, then I'll make you understand that what's in the code written. So let's go back to the page now to check. First component was ours, beer location. So that's how it's visible, it's showing these location of beer. Now we'll go back here and we'll go to the component. In HTML we have a title as card title variable. Icon name is standard address, so you can see this is the icon. And then we have tag as lightning map, so it is built tag of lightning web components. We can use that similar to lightning input which we have used earlier. And then for map markers we have this variable. You can read more about it in its documentation of lightning web components. Then we'll go to the JS to understand what's the card title returning and what's map markers returning. In JS, if you can see that we are using get record and get field value adapter IDs. We are assigning name field to the beer object's name, location latitude to beer object's location latitude field value, longitude to the beer object's location longitude field value, and then these array of constant consisting of these three fields. Now we are using wire adapter over here. These are the API variables, so that it is making these variables to public. And then we are using wire adapter. We are using record id, that is on whichever record we are placing this component, its record id will be fetched and giving passing it to this variable. And similarly all these fields, name field, location latitude field, location longitude field, to this fields variable. Now this is the, you can again say variable which will get all the data consisting of I will say, suppose I have a record a, it will get record a's id and then fetch all three fields of that records a, and then pass on to this variable load beer. Now these two are the standard syntax, that is error and data. Error will return error and data will return whatever data we are fetching from that record. So if there is any error, you can write any statement you can have it on logs console it, or you can display it on UI as well to have that logic here. But if there is no error, but if it is returning data, so what do we need to do? We need to get that field value and store it in this variable. Similarly, that field value in this variable and that field value in this variable. Then we are returning this map marker. Again, it's an object of array. Location consisting of latitude and longitude, and title having this name, and description of this codes of latitude and longitude. And card title will be name of the record. If it's present, then name of the record's location. If not, then bear location. So if you see here, so bear name is Ted, so it's returning Ted's location, that's the card title. And based on the latitude and longitude returning, it's placing this mark icon. But if suppose I will edit, okay, it's can't be empty, but if I will remove this beer name, if it can be emptied, then it will return here beer location. So that's how it's working. Now let's move on to this beer supervisor component. So in this, again we have lightning card and its title as supervisor, you can see it here, supervisor, and its icon as standard people. Then if we have beer data, this is again variable, I will show it, I will show you from where it's coming. But only if this data exists, then we need to display this, whatever is present in this tag. But if it is returning a error similar to what we checked here, sorry, in this JS, here you see, right, error and data. So if there is data, then process this block of code. If there is error, then process this block of code. So in supervisor as well, if there is any data, then process this block of code. If there is error, then process this block of code. Then UI will displays an error occurred while loading the beer record. So now what's happening if the data is returned? So we are having this lightning record form. Again, it is also part of that tag list of lightning web component. So object API name, we have given contact, that it should show the display of data of contact. Record id we are passing as a variable from JS, I will show you. And layout type should be compact. So in JS we will go, again we are using adapter id, and you can see I have made you understand earlier as well that how it's working. That we are giving this record id and it is fetching all the data of these fields. And field is supervisor field, supervisor field is beer records supervisor field, and it's passing all this data into this beer variable. And now this supervisor id is again a variable which is having it here. So if we are having a data, it should return all these to this. Okay, so that's how it's working. And we can see it here, name, title, phone, and email. So let's see if our challenge is passed. So no. Added to the beer record page, yes, it is added. Let's check it again. We have beer record and beer yeah, so there was earlier problem, maybe before I have added that beer supervisor component to the page, then I have checked this challenge. So let's move on to the next unit, that is work with list of records. Now again we need to create a component, that is beer list. I will do command, then create component, go back here, then make it visible to all this. Okay, yes. Now let's go back, then HTML code, then JS file. Now we need to create CSS file as well. So from here I'll click this, sorry, and this beer list dot css, and I'll paste this. Now I'll deploy this component, and we need to again add it to the page of app homepage. On the homepage of Ursus Park, we'll paste drop it on the center of the page. Okay, so I'll go back. This is home page, edit page. Beer list, sorry, yes, now save. Now next they are saying that we need to modify this JS. Okay, where is that beer dot data? Nowhere, right? Okay, so we need to replace this as well. Mhm. Again, I'll make you understand all this code. Just let me have it on the UI so that I can show you. So I will deploy this code now after copying pasting all the code from there. Uh, and lastly, we need to check it on the home page. This is the code, so let's save it in back. We have already placed the component, so whatever changes we'll be making, it will be visible over here. And let's use this. Our component is deployed. I'll refresh it and check our challenge. So in the code, what we are doing, let's understand the HTML first. You can see that in here UI what is happening. If from bare understanding we can see, sorry, what is happening that this is a lightning card. On this we have title as beers, and this is the icon of beer. Then we have lightning input of search where we are searching. Then there are small tiles of bears in which we have a image, and this must be the bear name from bear record. And then its other details, its age, height, weight, and gender. So that's also must be fetched from all the records. So let's go understand the code now. So challenge is completed, but let's understand the code first. So you can see that lightning card is here, title is bears, then icon name is utility, animal and nature. So basically that bear icon we have. Then in template if true, that is if bears data is present. Again from JS, if bear data is there, then only this should be visible. That is I'll collapse it to see. Yeah, so all the data which is exist in this, it should be visible. That is that all tiles and all. So first we have this input, we have it type as search, and on change we are calling this handler, that is handle search term change. Its label is search, placeholder is search for bears. So we must be searching bear's name, and value is search term. So again it is coming from these two are variables. Means this is a handler function and this is variable. Then we are placing a layout, and layout for each record of bears data, for each list of bears data which we are getting, we will call it each as bear. And for each bear id, we will keeping it size as 3, that is lighting layout item, that is in one row 3 items should be displayed. And for each id we will check, we will show its name in lightning card. I yeah, so you can see that this is each lightning card. Whenever a loop is running, it will check its id is a unique factor, that is here you can see this bear id. For each loop this is a variable, it's not nothing, just suppose I variable which we use in for loops. So it's checking for bear dot id, and in each row we should have only 3. So this size I must be mistaken, this is something else. Okay, so 4, yeah. So it's divided into 12. So if size is 3, so each 4 should be visible, 0, 1, 2, 3. And then its title should be beer dot name, that is this Balu, that is lightning card again we are using. And then in here first, in div tag first we are giving a image, that is that bear image which we are seeing. And then second column we are seeing this all data in p tag, that is its gender, age, height and weight. So that's where each tile is ending, so you can see this is where it ended, each tile. And again if false, that is has results variable, if it is false then it will show us the text, that is this is very disturbing, we did not find results. And if it's an error, that is we did not get any data from record itself, then it will show this an error occurred while loading the beer list. So I'll go to the JS to make you understand a little bit more. So you can see this search term is passing it to this search term, this wire adapter id. And it will again store whatever we are searching for in this bears variable. And if its length is greater than 0, then this is true, otherwise it is false. So if it is false, so suppose if we are searching for random text and no result will be occurring, then this text should be visible. So let's check. I'll search for random text which would not be here. So you can see this is very disturbing and we did not find results. But if I will search for beer name, it will give me that particular time. So you can see how this is working. And again if we are talking about this handle search term, yeah, so this is that when we are typing in and search for, then this is this handler is called handle search term change. And what it is doing, it is passing whatever value we are typing into this search term, and search term it's getting passed into here, then it is passing it to here and giving us data in bears. Okay, and this is just a delay time of 300 milliseconds. And yeah, this is about that resource, that is image of bear which we are using. So it is nothing but from static resources which we are using. So this unit is completed. Let's move on to the next unit of this module, that is create a child component and interact with it. So I'll create this component. We are following same steps only. I will copy paste this in HTML of, sorry, let me close all these components so that there will be no confusion. Now we have this test, yeah. So I have copy pasted it here. Now this, its JS should be copy pasted. uh, then its CSS file, and for CSS also in beer list, if you see, we had also created here. So beer tile, and beer tile class we are using here. So for each lightning card, that is whatever the boundary and border radius which we have given, you can see it here. And this is for that image height of beer on each tile. So let's come back. Now we need to update the HTML of tile and beer tile. Okay, so we are placing the child component of beer list. It's nothing, it's just passing data from now child component, and I will deploy the code of that. Let me first do all of this. Okay, so we'll go back to the beer list HTML and we will replace this where we have entered the child component. So child component is here, where we are calling the child component. Now go back, and then beer list JS file again got updated. I will deploy this beer list as well as beer tile component. And no, we don't need to add this beer tile component to the page separately, as okay, there is some error on beer list. Okay, earlier beer tile component was not deployed, so it show is it's throwing error for that. So now it should not throw any error. Now it's deployed. Yes, so I was saying that child component should not be added to the page separately. Means we can add that, but there is no need, as it's already inside of the parent component, so it will show the data here. So let's see how, if the UI has changed or if we have just made changes accordingly. So little bit CSS only changed, and also this inbuilt search icon on the tile. So okay, on search icon, after clicking on it, the record is getting open. So let's go back to understand the child components code. So you are seeing here that where we have called the beer tile. So if you remember earlier, I have explained that after following through each loop, after checking each ID, it's showing the tiles data, so that all code related to showing the tiles data has been passed on to this beer tile component. So we will move there, and you can see this beer variable and this handle beer view, and this we have added. So this beer variable, if we go here, it's nothing but one second, handle beer view as well. So yeah, it's nothing but that data from on top. Okay, so yeah, sorry, I have mistaken it. This is this for item one variable which we are passing it to here, and this beer variable is the one which is passing on to as API variable. Okay, and yeah, so that on click event on beer view event, this is the custom event which we must be dispatching from the child component. I'll show you. So from here, from parent component, what data we are passing, that is this is the navigation mixing, that's to navigate to a page. So where we are navigating, that is standard record page we are going, and what it is passing, that is whatever data it is having event dot detail to this beer id constant, it's passing it as record id. Object name is this, and what should it do, it should be able us to it should enable us to view that record page. So that we have checked that after on clicking on search icon, we were able to see the record page. Now we will move back to beer tile. You can see this is all that first we are adding the just search icon on the top of that tile, and this all is same using which we were displaying the data. Then on JS, if we will go, this is to show the image. This is API variable which we are using on bare list HTML here to receive the data or to pass on the data. Then here, this is handle open record click which we are having on here on search icon. You can see that here we are using custom event beer view. This is dispatched, we are storing it in select event, and then this is dispatched. So for this event to be called, we are using on beer list html on beer view. So that's how it's working. I hope you got a little bit understanding, but you, if you will write it once, you will be able to understand it more. So let's check our challenge. So let's move on to the last unit of this module, that is communicate with component across an app. This unit will be using LMS, that is lightning message service. Lightning message service is used when we want to communicate between two different components that are not related to each other in any manner. They are not having any kind of relationship such as parent child or anything. They can be considered as sibling components. So for that we need to import this for from message service, and then we need to imply it using wire, and we will have its data in this. Okay, so let's follow this along, and we are having this js file. Okay, we need to copy paste this there here, beer list js in this. Okay, so I have pasted it. Now go back, and now they are saying we need to replace these two lines with these ones. So for better readability, I'll just give the space, and then indentation is very important in LWS to have the better readability. Okay, now we'll go back, and then we need to create a new lightning component, that is beer map. So I'll go there and I'll deploy this after saving it. In the meantime, I'll give the command for creating lightning component. I'll paste the name and yes, and then I'll change first its meta file. Again, fix the indentation. You can use tab after selecting all the data, and then in HTML we need to paste this. I'll make you understand code as well. Okay, now we need to replace the content of its JS file. Okay, now we need to add the page. So edit the page, so I'll deploy this first, and now go back, and in here we need to search for Ursus park, then edit page, and we need to drag the beer map component and drop it here. So I'll edit the page. I'll drop it on top of it here. Now save, now go back. So you can see it's showing the data, and okay, why it's coming like this. Did we miss something? Some CSS file or anything? Zoom level is 11. So let's change it to, but it's only for lightning map. Okay. Okay, so you can see, I don't know, this is occurring, I need to fix it by using CSS or something. But what's happening, it's showing us all the list here, and then its locations here. If you can zoom in, you can see all the locations in this map. So how the communication is happening, if you see in Bear map, here it's just lightning map, which we have discussed earlier as well. And if we go to JS file, again we are importing the message service, and it's having component as subscribe, unsubscribe, and message context, and then there is message channel. So what is happening, subscribe is we are getting it assigned to this variable, that is subscription, which we have assigned earlier as null. And then in disconnected callback, if you have understood all the hooks of LWC, you understand that why do we use disconnected callback. So you can understand this better from here. Let me show you. Yeah. So we are retrieving the lightning message context using the message context here, sorry, from importing, and then we are storing it in this variable in that bear list component, and then we are using wire function to capture the incoming bear list data, which we are using in bear list to store it in this variable beer list update. And then we are passing the search term and then storing its data, which are matching to this search term in the search bars, and then result is stored here, and then this result is here and data is here, and this data again is to beers and beer is here. Okay, and we are publishing this message context to this variable, and then this variable is getting imported in the beer map component, which we are using here. And as for this subscribe and subscribe to life component, sorry, life cycle hook, we are using connected and disconnected callback, and it will automatically load and unloads the component. Connected callback used to load the component and disconnected to unload. And we are using these two functions to subscribe and unsubscribe are this custom lightning message, which we are getting from beer list component. So as soon as we receive it in connected callback, we are sending the message to handle beer list update function, which is here, and then again assigning its latitude and longitude to these variables, and then title, description, and icon as well, and then it is getting published in beer list component. Okay, so let's check our challenge. So we are done with this project, that is build a beer tracking app with lightning web components. I hope you got to know few new things and understand a bit more. And yes, you might not be able to understand everything at once, because it takes practice. Sometimes you can create small projects as well for that. And after this, in this series we will be will be doing this project, that is quick start to the sample app gallery, in our next video. And I'll be pasting all the previous module of this trail mix in this video as well. And you can find the playlist as well on my channel, that is build your Salesforce developer career, for this trail mix. And please like the video, subscribe the channel, and if you have any question, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you, stay tuned.